Now, when I was younger, I didn't believe I needed a morning routine, but as I've started to get older, I've realised the benefits of having one of these within my life and my daily regime. And this is for my training, and it is all about my morning session. My morning session is my most important session because that is the hardest sessions I do. My evening sessions, my afternoon sessions, they are more technical, they are lighter. So before my morning session, I will get up 2 to 3 hours before my main session. I start at 10 AM. I'll get up around that 7 AM mark. Sometimes I might get up at 6, it all depends, but I will get up a minimum before 8 AM. I do not want to go past that 8 AM barrier. And first off, what I do is hydrate. And I don't just drink water, I drink that salt. So as soon as I get up in the morning, I get this water, boom, I'll down it with some salt, and that is me. I'm gonna get probably about half a litre in me. I'm gonna let that settle down. Once that's settled down, I can then eat. And I'm gonna eat 30 minutes after waking. With that, I can have my supplements alongside. And the reason, or the main reason I'm doing this is to set my body up correctly. I've just been asleep. So I want to get the water, get the fluids back in my body first, let them settle, and once they've settled, I can then eat. I don't want to get up and eat straight away. I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I get up in the morning, I'm not hungry straight away, nowhere near. So I'm going to drink that water first, and I'm going to let that settle. I always eat me around that 7:30, 8 o'clock boundary, or that barrier. Always, if I get up at 6 AM, I'll probably do the same. I'll eat between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And after I've done that, I'm gonna get some sort of movement in. I can either go to the session early or I can do it at home. As a professional fighter, you wanna be fully prepared for your session. You wanna get 100% out of your session. And the way you're gonna do that is getting some sort of movement in before. Some people might go on a light jog early doors. Some people might even do some stretching. Some people might just do some shadow boxing before, but I want to be mobile before that session starts, because when I don't do this, especially in England when it's freezing cold, it might take me 30 minutes to loosen my joints up, and then I've just wasted 30 minutes of my session. So I want to come into the session with a prepared body and mindset, and the way I'm going to do that is make sure I'm ready for the session. And you might think, what are you going to do in between those hours? You've got 2 hours spare, what are you going to do? Personally, I go on the computer. I'll do some personal work that's going to help with personal development, or into my little business side hustle avenues. But that is totally up to you. I'll get up, I'll hydrate, I'll be on the computer in between, and eat after I've woken up, and I will get my supplements in, and then I will get my movement in. I'm just going to make sure I'm subtle for the morning session. Now, why do I actually do this? I do it to wake up properly. There's nothing worse than getting to a session and not waking up an hour into the session. And the reason that is because you haven't allowed your body to wake up properly. You've just got up and gone straight to the gym. So I'm preparing myself for the sessions, and main thing, I'm going to make sure I'm fully hydrated and fueled for my sessions. Because when I'm not hydrated, it's going to go on the next slide, you get injured. I got injured, I got a head injury just because I got up 20 minutes before we started sparring. And this is why when I don't get up early, I will feel groggy, I will get injured, and the reason that is because the salt hasn't absorbed into your body, and then the water hasn't hydrated you properly. You're more likely to get injured. And if you're half asleep, you're probably going to do something that you're not really paying attention of, and you could leave your arm there and it could take a little nick and you could hurt your ligaments. And the reason I do all this is because I don't have the best start to my sessions. I go in with a moody mentality, not really wanting to be there because I'm still half asleep. I still feel asleep, and there's nothing worse training feeling asleep. So I make sure I get up early to prepare myself for the session. You can get up 20 minutes before, that is totally fine, but if you want to pursue this and take more accountability for yourself and your growth I recommend getting up that early phase between training. Sometimes I'll even get up and I'll go for a jog straight away because there's no contact. But the reason I get up early for this is because there's contact. As soon as there's contact, there's a risk of injury. I don't mind jogging nice and slow when I'm half asleep. I do that. I do that on a regular. So sometimes I might get up, hydrate first, let that settle, and then go for a jog straight away, 30 minutes. When I get back, hydrate again, let that settle, then eat. And by this time, it's still 8 o'clock. Have my supplements, get some movement. I've already done my movement now, so I'm subtle, so I don't need to do that section. I've just put it in a little bit of a different order. But there comes with massive scope of improvements and focus in your sessions when you start getting up early. And when I started doing this, it was a game changer. I used to hate the starter sessions because I was knackered. I'm like, oh, I've got to get up, snooze the alarm. But now I get up early, ready for the session, and I'm focused. I'm ready to smash what we have at hand. And I do that because we're built different around these ends, and that is today's video. You got this far, make sure you're subscribed, and then we can be friends. Bish, bash, bosh, pow.